Hello, everyone. This is JP, the Brand Builder, and welcome to the Brand Booming Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the brand name. Now, in regards to the brand name, you want to make sure that a that it is consistent with your values and your core beliefs of your brand. In addition, you want to make sure that it's consistent with your brand promise, and most importantly, it's consistent with your brand persona. And when I'm talking about your brand persona, I'm talking about the personality of the brand, things that you guys may say that's under the brand, things of that nature. Now, like I said, you want to make sure that all those factors are in place when you make a decision to create a brand name. And one of the cool things that you can do when you decide to come up with a brand name, depending on what you first, let's talk about. There's a level to architecture in regards to your brand name. So some of you out there may be just looking to get a name for a product for your product or your service, and then in other scenarios you might be just looking for a name for a company. So I'm gonna try to break this stuff down to you so you guys can have a little bit of an understanding of how it kind of works. So let's just use one that's most common. Let's say Apple. Apple is a computer company. So that is the big brand. And then you have its line of product brands that are under the core brand, such as your iPad, your iPhone, or your Mac computer. Those are different. Those are product brand lines, whereas Apple is the big brand. So just kind of look at the big brand is like the mothership, and those other little itty bitty the little products and services that sit under that brand are product brands that sit under the top of the major brand. And that's how brand architecture is set up. So keep that in mind. In regards to coming up with a name, there's several ways you can go about doing it. Maybe you can think of some names that are like you can take two different set of words, like maybe the function of how it works, and maybe what the name it is, and maybe you can join words together, make a compound word, as they say, or you can create your own word. There's so many ways out there where you can come up with a potential name. You can one way you can go about doing that is there's sites out there. I think there's one off the hand. I think it's called Squad Help. But do your research. If you want some additional help in regards to coming up with a possible product service name, or rather it's a product or a service, you can go online and seek assistance. I myself do provide those services as well. But you can take a pen and a pad and just write down a couple of names, names that correlate with your product or service, and see what you come up with. And once you are able to narrow out a couple of names, I would say you should try to narrow out somewhere between 3 to 5 names. The next thing, my advice to you, and if you're confident in the name that you choose, the next thing you want to do is search on the internet and see if you're able to do some what I call getting your brand collateral. And what I mean by that is getting your domain name. So go check out your GoDaddies or your HostGator.com sites and check and see if the URL is available. That may impact you in regards to or make have a how can I put it, be a decision factor if you decide to go with that name. If the name is available online where you can buy the actual .com site, because obviously you want to have .com before you try to get .net and some of these other website formats. So that would be one of the things I would do. I would definitely try to capture the domain name. The other thing I would look into doing is I would check out uspto.gov, and you would check that site and see if that name is available in your class of a good or service that you're seeking to do business under that name as, because you don't want to be function under the same name as somebody else, and they already captured it under a particular class that you're looking to do business in. If that, hope that makes sense to you. And last but not least, Let me see here. I said something about capturing the domain name. I said something about checking USPTO.gov to see if you can be able to trademark it. That's the main purpose I'm telling you to do that. And I would say last but not least, you want to capture handles handles on all your social media platforms in the name that you decide to do business in. That way you're able to capture all that digital collateral. That way in the event somebody's looking for your product and you're doing some level of promotion, if somebody was able to Google you, if you already have the handles secured on particular platforms that you plan to promote your product or service, people are able to recognize it right away. That's all I have today in regards to branding names. If you have any questions, feel free to post down below. Once again, my name is JP the Brand Builder. You can also check out this post as well. I'll be posting it to my podcast. I have a podcast that is available on all the major smartphone podcast sectors. All you have to look up is Brand is Booming podcast. Once again, this is JP the Brand Builder signing out.